Hi, my name is Rachel, and normally I'm the Thrifty Crocheter. Now I haven't been on here in a very, very long time. So, first things first, get back into our devotional. Oof. Last time I did a devotional according to this was back in October, towards the end of October, and we're in the middle of November. Wow. Okay. Today is the 14th, November the 14th. 365 days of kindness. Restored and revived. Then that's where he restores and revives my life. He opens before me pathways to God's pleasure and leads me along in his footsteps of righteousness so that I can bring honor to his name. Psalm 23:3. Oh, speaking of threes, 3:1-6. And no, those are not knitting needles, those are nails. And if you read the Bible, you understand what that means. Anyway, back to this. It is time to be restored. When a good shepherd guides you to nourishment, you will be restored. You need to rest and accept his provision. What has he brought into your life even today to restore and revive you? What pathways are you seeing God open up in front of you? As you allow him to lead you on this journey of faith, trust that each step he offers with him is right. Don't be guided by anxiety. Allow him to bring you into a place of pleasure. Stop and let him revive your soul so you can trust his guidance in your next decision. Act of kindness. Pull a few weeds from someone's garden as you walk past it. I needed this one today. I needed this one for a while. On so many levels. Okay. The one for grandmothers. Gotta find. Here we go. The 14th. For where your treasure is, there your heart shall be also. Luke 12:34. In my bedroom, I have 2 wooden plaques, a hand mirror, and a small box, all etched with a wood-burning tool and hand-painted by my grandmother in the early 1900s. Minta Pearl Barclay Knapp was a college physics and math professor during a time when most women don't even finish high school. She died in 1932, long before I was born. In spite of her amazing educational success, it's the objects she crafted in her spare time with her own hands that are her legacy to me. I too have taken up craft hobby in the past years with the hope that I can pass a bit of my creative self on to my children, grandchildren, and friends. I save glass jars, the kind pickles, olives, bouillon cubes, and mustard come in, and paint them with puffy fabric paint. They're colorful, fun to hold because of the puffy texture, and quite lovely. If I do say so myself, I've filled my puffy paint jars with tea, candy, paper clips, cotton swabs, or loose change, and given more than 500 of them away to relatives, close friends, and acquaintances. Friends ask, why don't you sell them at craft fairs? I answer, because I've never get back the value of my time. Besides, they're meant for people I love. People to whom I want to give the gift of my time and creativity. Of course, I have to admit that I hope a few of my jars stand the test of time as my grandmother's wooden objects did. So that someday in the 2100s, someone will say, Mommy, where did this colorful jar come from? Heavenly Father, thank you for the fun of being creative. But most of all, thank you for the loved ones who accept my simple handmade gifts with such enthusiasm. I have family who do that too. they really like the things that I make. But this is the reason why I haven't been crocheting. The weather here it went from like 70s down, it's been mostly down to like 60s and 50s, and then we've been getting some rain, so tendinitis, the carpal tunnel have been flaring its ugly head, and make my wrist hurt, and my thumb hurt, and I just can't crochet right now. Because, I mean, I crochet with my right, but I'm holding it with my left, and it just, I can't. I can't. Okay, the illustrated words of Jesus for women, a daily devotional. November. Gosh. The 14th. Oop. Went past it. Worship matters. And the verse says, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done until also be told in memory of her. Mark 14:9. A woman, not a religious leader, a nobody in the eyes of the men around Jesus, took expensive, fragrant perfume and anointed Jesus with it. She worshiped Jesus through her actions. There were men there who had heard the same news, that Jesus was going to die, but they did nothing. Jesus knew that she understood his message, and she was worshiping him. What she did was so important that it was recorded in the Bible, and people are still talking about her thousands of years later. Never doubt that your worship matters to Jesus. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Sing to the Lord, praise his name. Proclaim his salvation day after day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous deeds among all peoples. For great is the Lord, and most worthy of praise. Psalm 96, 1-4. Yay. Those were very good devotionals today. But here's what I have been doing. I've told you before about my Route 66 souvenir scrapbook. Actually, here's the inside title page. And I've made it, and it wasn't a smaller notebook. Now I've made it into a much bigger notebook. And it's going through each book. Oh. And let me see if I can flip this. Oh, I did not do that. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, they don't want to stop it. Well, anyway, let's do it this way. Now, I don't have to. Trying to flip it. And I don't know how to flip it without stopping the camera. Well, I guess I'll have to pick it up. Oh. This is frustrating me. Okay. I'm just set it down here. Make it easier. I am using, with this one, I'm using the Rainbow Study Bible. And this one is an NIV. That was the Christian Standard Bible, but it's an NIV. Which is okay. Because one of the things I'm also doing, and it's with this Bible, see, it's a parallel Bible, and it has 4 different versions. So what I do, and I will show you an example. For instance, this verse from Genesis, Let the waters below the heavens to be gathered into the place, and let the dry land appear. Genesis 1, 9, and 10. You may or may not be able to see, but I have taken it and highlighted the differences. Here's another from Genesis 8, 11. The differences. I have to show you, and I have to find the correct book. I can never remember the book that it was in. I went down like this huge rabbit hole because sometimes I even would break down definitions, especially if there was a really huge word difference, and I would break down the dictionary definition as well as the Bible definition. I mean, I went on this huge rabbit hole, and I can't remember what book it was in, because it was a really big rabbit hole. I always have to look for it. And I just hate it when you want something, you can't find it. And when you don't want it, and you don't want something, you can find it every time. And when you don't want something, you can't find it. I swear that happens to me every single... Oh, here's something. Oh, aside from that, the book of Psalms is actually 5 books in one book. Lots and lots of information. I would do lots and lots of information on that. On each of those 5 separate little books. And then some of the prophecies that are in the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms has so many things. So many things. I found it. It's in Psalms. Psalms 91:4. And I actually had 2 coloring pages. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. Psalm 91:4. And they used this is where I did all the dictionary definitions and Bible definitions of these words. Because they use pinions, buckler, bulwark, buckler, rampart, which are completely different, and the difference between cover and shield, faithfulness, truth. It was just so many differences in different things. It went down this huge rabbit hole. I mean, I know I shouldn't really get technical, but I just think it's amazing the different, how each translation uses such completely different wording. And it's still God's word, it's still God's truth, but sometimes it can just, at least for me, it just changes the meaning of it so much. I've gone down too many other rabbit holes. A lot of this I've found, like, other information and other books that I think that goes well with it. Isaiah has a lot of prophecy. Right now, it's still in the Old Testament. I haven't gotten to the New Testament yet. But something that I had done, and by the way, this thing of comparing translations I did 2 years ago. 2 years ago, because they had the date on there 22, and it's 24, and that's how long ago I did this. So I added it to this notebook. I'm starting to do that again because I have so much fun doing that. Here's something else that I did a long time ago. Check this out. Candy and food. By that I mean, and I did this comparison again, but Lifesavers, $9.24. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for me will save it. Almond Joy, for the joy of the Lord is your strength, from Nehemiah 8:10. Skittles, that one has to do with like the rainbow, of course. Swedish fish, from Matthew 4:19, and he said to them, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. You know, things like that. Swedish fish, Almond Joy. Some of these I have, like Almond Joy again, but this is from Psalm 47:1. Almond Joy, John 15:11. Payday, Laffy Taffy, Starburst. Another one for Starburst. One was from Psalm 148:1. The other one is from 48 verse 3. Smarties, pretzel sticks, craisins. I mean, yeah, it doesn't, round cracker, goldfish. Yeah, it doesn't say like the name of that product per se, but it's like in reference to. And I did the Bible translation comparisons with them. Oh, here's another thing. Besides using word differences, some translations, when they're referring to God or Jesus, some of them capitalize the H and some don't. That's another thing that I pick up on, which I always think is interesting. Anyway, 4 verses to pray for your home. H, healing words from Proverbs 12:18. O is, these are for home, H-O-M-E. O is overflowing hope, peace, joy, Romans 15:13. M, in the word home, is mercy, love, and justice, from Micah 6:8. And E, in the word home, is for encouragement, 1 Thessalonians 5:11. I encourage you to go look up these scriptures and read them for yourselves. Also, every day God thinks of you, Psalm 68:19. Every day, or every hour, God looks after you, 2 Thessalonians 3:3. Every minute, God cares for you, 1 Peter 5:7. Because every second, he loves you, Jeremiah 31:3. And then I've got some Bible verses for emotions and feelings, and like where to find, like afraid of circumstances, afraid of people, of persecution, afraid of the future, feeling bullied, when you're critical, healing heart, for anxiety, for stress relief. Find help in the Bible for brokenhearted, insecure, stressed, feeling alone. 5 facts to live. You are a sinner. You are going to die. You will be judged. You can't save yourself. Your only hope is in the Lord Christ. Oh, here's fruits of the Spirit. And I made pictures of fruits and put from Galatians there. And I put what each of the fruits are. Oh, this was so much fun. Our church shares share services with another church. We use their building, and both their sermons kind of they went together because they both reminded me of lines from a song from Carmen. Carmen passed away a few years ago from cancer, and he was one of my favorite Christian rock singers. And from both sermons, They had things that reminded me of them as I put them together. And also, when I was in college, we were on these Go Forth teams. So that's one of my favorite pages. And this was from 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Prayers for your war room. And there was 23, so I put 12 on each page. I think it was something that I found like on Pinterest. A lot of these things I have on here are stuff that I found in Pinterest. Like 15 reasons to read the Bible daily, where to look the Bible when my Father, 7 I am statements from Jesus, sins that crucified our Lord, truth is God's word, 40 scriptures to combat worry, fear, anxiety, and panic. Oh, and by the way, I still have at least one more. Oh, I have another one for Swedish berries. I've been crossing off my list, going through my list. And then I've got some ones that are from Christmas Story Candy. And there's Rocky Road, Starburst, Hershey's Gold, Sugar Babies, Smarties, Candy Cane. Oh, I've seen a lot of different ones for the Candy Cane, by the way. Dove. But anyway, Rocky Road is the Journey of Mary and Joseph. Starburst, the Christmas Star. Hershey's Gold, the Gift of Wiseman. Sugar Babies is Baby Jesus. Smarties, the Wiseman. Candy Cane, the Shepherds. Dove is for peace. Reason Candy is Jesus is the reason for the season. Almond Joy, the angel's announcement. But I'm going to be doing the scripture comparison with those. And add that to my list of foods. I'm putting this all in my notebook here. And I've been... And yes, they are like little kid things. It just gives like a travel guide of like what this book is about. It's like a road map. It shows here for like Leviticus. There's the road guide. Here's a road map. And then I added some things from some other books that are added to the road map. Like I have several... Uh-oh. My pages came out. My coloring pages came out. From Genesis. Uh-oh. I had to put it back. And yes, I put them in the correct order where they are in Genesis. There we go. I don't know if they still make, they used to make those little circles that you would put on there for when that kind of thing happens to help keep them where they're at. I don't know if they still make those anymore. Some of you might be able to remember that. Oh, yeah. So I didn't, so there's no, I guess no. Here for number, this one does numbers and Deuteronomy. See, I added more to the roadmap. And like, may have a search word, or they might have to, like in this one, you just had, it was one of those mazes where you had to find your way out, kind of a thing. But usually one of the first pages that they would have is it basically, you know, some questions about that book or books, like how many chapters, and then some things about what's going on in there. Here's another puzzle that they do where you fill in the answer, and then some of the letters have a number, and it correlates with down here, and you have to fill in this blank. You have to get this all correct. But I'm using the NIV because I had remembered seeing in one of the puzzles that they were using the NIV, so I made sure to use the NIV with this book. That's why I'm using this particular Bible. I have several Bibles. And they're each of different versions. But I'm going to share with you some of the books that I use in my studies. The Complete Guide to the Bible. It's from Walmart. It's a little pricey side, like $23. It does give some really good insights on the books themselves. So it's a Bible, but not like a Bible, because it just gives a lot of insights on the books. Rose Handbook of Bible Charts, Maps, and Timelines. This is really, really good. It really breaks down scriptures a lot. Not only give history and background, lots of really good pages, pictures, tons of information, breaks down Bible characters, compares and contrasts a lot of things. It's just a really good in-depth of stuff. Now, this book my dad just recently gave me that was his, and it's a pretty nifty little book. Nelson's Complete Book of Bible Maps and Charts. That was not too bad. I've actually got a couple of them. I've actually written some things down out of it, and there's some things I'm going to write down that I'm going to add to my notebook. This is another one of the books that I just purchased, which is where I've also added a lot of things from my notebook. But some of these things I can remember seeing in Pinterest. Like I was showing my dad the other day, 7 things that God hates from Proverbs 6:19. I remember seeing this one specifically. Like this one, prophecies Jesus fulfilled. And I'm going to copy this down at some point, but I'm not sure whether to put it with the Old Testament or the New Testament because I don't want to do it twice. I put this one in at the beginning, in front of Genesis, or right in Genesis. The God's interaction with the world. Like if there's one, like some of these were just about the Psalms. Like, okay. God's attributes compared to nature. Psalm 3, 5, and 6. Most of those came from the book of Psalms. God's explanation of creation to Job. And like all these verses came from the book of Job. Like if there's verses that are like all the verses come from a particular book, then I was like, here's Proverbs, the attributes of godly women. I put all those in there because they all from Proverbs. A lot of these are New Testament ones. But there are some Old Testament ones as well. But some of this I can. Like this one was Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, so I put that with them. About work and business. But, as those books come, then I'm going to write them down and add to them. There's just some really, really neat stuff in here. This one's pretty cool. Rose Book of Bible Charts, Maps, and Timelines. It's another one about timelines. I like that it's spiral bound. And I know in this one, when I was doing one of my studies in the book of Genesis, here we go, when I was doing a study on Genesis, I added my own notes here and here. I put in little sticky notes, and I've handwritten some notes in it. Like I said, it's spiral bound, so it makes it a lot easier to set down, to look at. It's easier when you're studying a particular book, because sometimes I like to go on YouTube and watch a minister, a preacher, and preach on a certain book, and then I'll take notes on it. And this last book is also from Rose. Rose Chronological Guide to the Bible. This one kind of goes more towards the books of the Bible, starting from Genesis and working your way through. Again, it's also helpful that it's spiral bound, so it lays down flat. And so that does help when you're studying a certain book of the Bible, because it does go through it by the books. And it always gives a time, place, a little information about the book, and a key verse. So does the other Bible charts and maps, timelines. It does that. So, been busy with some Bible studying, trying to get back into that, and I'm going in fact, I got me a new 365-day Bible study for next year, specifically, so because it's more of reading the Bible. These have verses that go with the devotional, which is nice, but this is more of helps you read through the Bible every day, kind of a devotional. Which I want to do that because my youngest daughter and I did it 3 years in a row when she was in high school. So that was kind of a neat thing for us. And I want to get into that again because sometimes you get some really neat insights when you're reading the Bible, and you can kind of compare notes with each other. I mean, I don't have somebody to read it with. I'm just doing it by myself. But I have you to help keep me on track. You've seen everything that I have made thus far this year. And, we've had some horrible things that happened over the summer. And you've got to meet my new dog. And cancer has been its ugly head on another family member. And it's hit in several places in this person. And they just found out this last week. So prayers for them and the family. And I'm not going to give names. And I will say that it is somebody on my dad's side of the family. And it is this person is the most healthiest person you will ever see. Runs marathons, goes for a jog every day, walk every day, makes homemade everything. Never had a drop of alcohol in her life, never smoked, never did drugs, and yet cancer decided to get her to hit her in 3 different places, and in one place it hit 6 spots, and
Why? Why cancer? Why does there have to be a thing called cancer? Why does it have to hurt so many people? Anyway, that's an update on me. Like I said, this, unfortunately, carpal tunnel and tendonitis have reared its ugly head. So I wear this by day, and then I have a separate one that I wear that's made especially to wear to bed at night. The thing is, when I wake up in the morning, my hands are always really stiff. So it makes crocheting difficult because it's kind of painful to hold the project while trying to crochet, or even if I'm having to pick up this to do anything with. It's just sometimes when even at work, like if I'm holding even a cup, I mean, it's just because I can feel it right in here. Even when I make this fist, even with this, I can feel a stretch. You feel pain right there and in here. So, and you kind of need your hands to hold the project while you're crocheting, and it's no fun to crochet when you're in pain. You just can't. Yeah, and I feel bad because I don't really have enough to give to people, and there are things I want to get finished, and I can't get them finished because I'm in pain. Oh! I'm so mad at myself. Well, I can't. I'm old. I'm 51 years old. Weather is just, I love Mother Nature, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Mother Nature fan. Like, I love the colorful leaves that fall. I love going for walks. I mean, I'm a kid who grew up playing outside. I love the outdoors, okay? I mean, although I'm not a person who goes camping outdoors, but I do love going for walks outside. I mean, and I love being out there, out in nature. And I used to go ride my bike all the time when I was a kid. And when I went to my grandparents' house, I played out in the woods. So yes, I love the outdoors, love Mother Nature. But when you get older and Mother Nature decides she doesn't like you, that's a whole nother thing. Oh. You're getting old when it's hard for you to get up and down, and when you bend and you're like, okay, if I can get down, can I get up? Because you're just, it hurts to bend down or get up from being down. But anyway, my notebook with all my Bible study, my Bible journaling kind of thing, and parallel Bible. And it has the NIV, which is the New International Version, New American Standard Bible, the King James Version, and the New Living Translation. And then I also have a CSB, which is a Christian Standard Bible. And so sometimes I add that with this, or I might add another Bible with it. And I add other, like I said, I like to compare and contrast the verbiage. Oh, here's something interesting. And this is because I saw this in a video on Facebook one time. Scriptures that are skipped in some translations. And so I will give you the verses. Look them up for yourselves, and depending on the translation, some have it, some may not have it, and then there might be like a footnote at the bottom of the page saying that in some translations that it is removed. So, but here are the verses to go looking for that are skipped in some translations. Matthew 17, verse 21. Matthew 18, verse 11. Matthew 23, 14. And then here's I don't know where I wrote this morning, but I did. Revelation 22:19. So go look those up. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I will try to do better. When this is feeling better, I will bring you some more. I will do some more crocheting, but this needs to heal up and start feeling better again before I can pick up a hook and start crocheting. Otherwise, it's just too painful. It's just too painful. But I would definitely do better at bringing you the devotionals and share more of how I'm doing with my Bible journaling, which I hope all of you do appreciate. And if you don't, that's fine too. I'm not the only one who does devotionals as part of their thing, so it's part of their thing, but hey. Like I said, my name is Rachel. I'm also the Thrifty Crocheter, but I also like to share a little bit of devotional. 316 refers to John 3:16. So, with that, today is Thursday, November the 14th. Today was my day off. They changed my day off. They changed the times that I work too. Instead of working 12:30 to 9 now, I work 1 to 9. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Talked long enough. It's been like 40 minutes. I know this was a long one, but I felt like I needed to show you a lot of things and to update you on me and my life, because it's been a long time. So I love y'all. Y'all have a very wonderful day. And if I don't see you tomorrow, y'all have a wonderful weekend. See y'all. Bye.